You know that getting the right documentation for your business can turn chaos into clarity. Well, today I'm going to break down the real differences between SOPs, procedures, processes, and policies, and crucially how getting these right can transform your business into a well-oiled machine. Hey, I'm Mike Banda and welcome back to the Waybook channel. We've worked with thousands of businesses who are really in the reeds of growth, juggling their growing demands, trying to keep things running smoothly, all while dealing with the day-to-day chaos that lives within their business. But here is the secret. When you truly understand the differences between SOPs, policies, procedures, and processes, your business can run way smoother. You'll have consistency, fewer mistakes, and for you, way less stress. So stick around in this video because by the end, you will not only know the differences between these terms, but I'll also share with you a bonus tool that can help you automate all of this and create a business playbook for your business in a matter of minutes. Let's start with the big one, SOP, or Standard Operating Procedure. This is your business's ultimate how-to guide. An SOP is more than just a list of steps. It's got everything. The purpose of the task, the scope, who's responsible, what resources are needed, and finally, the actual step-by-step instructions. It's essentially a roadmap so that the task can be done perfectly every time. So why is an SOP important? Well, if you've ever had anybody in your team ask, how do I do this, perhaps all the time, then that is the chaos that an SOP can truly eliminate. Now, if we take on an example of an online retail business, you've got orders coming in, and without an SOP, one team member might process an order right away, but somebody else might forget to include the packing slip or perhaps pack a box in an incomplete way. And suddenly, you've got a mess. With a proper SOP for processing online orders, everyone can follow the same steps every time, no guessing, no mistakes. Essentially, it's consistency at scale. So here's where an SOP goes above and beyond just a procedure. Essentially, they include things like the purpose of the task, so why it's important, the scope of it, which essentially is who it affects, the roles and responsibilities, so who's accountable and who's responsible, and also what resources are needed, so what tools, materials, and information is required for your team to execute it effectively. Now, a collection of SOPs is essentially a fully loaded guidebook that can ensure your team never misses a beat. Now, let's clear something up. An SOP and a procedure, they are not the same thing. A procedure is essentially just the steps for one task. But an SOP is that fuller picture that covers multiple procedures under one bigger umbrella. So if you think of it as an SOP for onboarding new employees, this can include individual procedures like how we set up an email account, how we assign a team buddy, and essentially the SOPs bring all of these things together. And if you're thinking, Mike, I do not have the time to write out every little step, I hear you. And that's exactly why we created Shots by Waybook. Shots is a free tool that helps you build your procedures automatically just while you perform the tasks. Just hit record, do your thing, and Shots will turn it into a fully written procedure, the screenshots of what to do, the titles and highlighting the information, and these are the amazing procedures that you can have within your SOPs. Check it out for free at waybook.com/shots. Now next up, let's look at policies. These are essentially the rules that your business follows. Policies explain the why you do things the way you do. And they also set the standards for your behavior, your decision making, and actually how your team interacts both with each other and also with your clients. And let's be real, without policies, things can actually get pretty messy pretty fast. So if you've ever had a team member who is confused about your remote work expectation, perhaps asking should they reply to an email right away or after lunch? Do they need to be available online at specific times? Essentially, this is all of the things that a remote work policy can cover. It sets the clear guidelines that ensures that everybody is on the same page. Without this, one person could be responding to content instantly and another one might take a few hours, and it's essentially just a recipe for miscommunication and ultimately frustration for your team. Policies bring structure to the business. They essentially provide a consistent framework for how things should be done. And that's especially important when you're scaling and need everybody to follow the same playbook. So now let's zoom in a little onto procedures. As mentioned, these are the step-by-step guides for completing a specific task. Now it is narrower in scope than an SOP, but it's still super important. And while an SOP might cover the entire onboarding process, A procedure, as we mentioned, might focus on one specific action within that process, like setting up an email account. Now, in a warehouse, for example, you might have a procedure for conducting inventory checks. And this outlines exactly how to count each individual item, log the results, and perhaps report any discrepancies. But it's one task in a bigger SOP of inventory management. But essentially, all of these together is essential and vital to make sure that people get this right every time. Procedures essentially give clarity and ensure that tasks are done consistently and without mistakes. They also help your team know exactly what is expected of them at every single step. There's certain activities within your business that may really require detailed procedures, and others that actually may require a higher level SOP or an SOG, which is a standard operating guideline. But let's be honest, when your team are living in ambiguity and have to consistently guess on how to do things, mistakes will happen, and it's not necessarily a question of if, but when. So now let's take a step back and look at the process. A process is essentially the overall flow of activities that help you achieve a business goal. It's essentially the bigger picture from an operations standpoint. It's how different procedures and SOPs fit together. Take event planning. The process of organising an event includes booking a venue, arranging catering, sending invitations, and setting up the day itself. Each step of that process will have its own set of SOPs and likely procedures, but the process shows how they all fit in together. Processes give your business a smooth and consistent flow, ensuring that nothing falls in between the cracks of these handoff periods. It's essentially like the glue that holds all of the individual elements together. And this is the big mistake that I see businesses make time and time again, where they're just simply not defining their processes. Without clear processes, your team doesn't know how their task fits into the bigger picture, which actually only leads to more confusion, often more delays, and also a sense of not fully understanding how their work contributes to the wider success of the business. So now for the bonus I promised. We've talked about SOPs, policies, procedures, and processes, but creating all of that together can actually feel quite overwhelming, right? Well, not anymore, because Waybook is the ultimate business playbook builder, enabling you to create a single source of truth in literally no time at all. Now, if you wanted a taster about what Waybook can achieve for your business, we've released a free AI playbook builder tool for you to be able to help build out a complete playbook for your business in just seconds. Just answer a few questions and it will generate a customized playbook structure for you, ready to share with the team and fill in with the specifics. Alright, so now you know the difference between SOPs, policies, procedures, and processes, and also how they work together to keep your business running smoothly. My top tip is to start small. Pick just one procedure today, document it, delegate that, and you can just start to see how much more smoothly things will run. If you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for more business tips, and don't forget to check out Waybook's free tools like Shots and the AI Playbook Builder, because trust me, they're going to save you tons of time. If you're ready to take your business documentation to the next level, then check out Waybook itself to get your business on the same page and start to enjoy some smooth scaling today. Until next time, have a great one, and I look forward to seeing you soon.